There's a hard pill a lot of men need to swallow, and it's this. Not every woman who gives you attention actually values you. Some are just passing time, some are using you to feel better about themselves, and some they just don't see you as a man worth respecting. Today we're diving deep into the 5 behaviors of a woman who doesn't value you. And believe me, once you recognize these signs, you'll never look at your interactions with women the same way again. Welcome to the channel where we tell men the truth that most people are too afraid to say. If you're tired of playing games, tired of being manipulated, and ready to take back your self-respect, you're in the right place. Now, let's make one thing clear. This isn't about hating women. It's about understanding your worth as a man and refusing to entertain anyone who can't see it. If a woman doesn't value you, she will show you. Through her behavior, her tone, her inconsistency, and her complete lack of appreciation. The problem is too many men see the signs but ignore them, hoping she'll change or thinking if they do more she'll finally treat them better. Wrong. The harsh reality is this. When a woman doesn't value you, no amount of effort, niceness, or proving yourself will change that. In this video, I'll break down the exact behaviors women display when they don't value a man. Some are subtle, some are downright disrespectful, but all of them are red flags you cannot ignore. You deserve clarity, you deserve peace, and you deserve to stop giving energy to people who couldn't care less about losing you. Let's get into the truth. Number 1. She gives you access, but not respect. This is one of the most confusing traps a lot of men fall into. She'll let you call, text, hang out, even sleep with her. But deep down you feel it. She doesn't respect you, and that matters more than anything else. See, access can be misleading. Just because a woman allows you into her space doesn't mean she values your presence. A woman can be physically available but emotionally and mentally detached. She may let you take her out, spend money on her, listen to her problems, even lay in your bed, yet never truly respect your position as a man in her life. Respect is the foundation of a woman's value for you. When she respects you, she listens. She considers your opinions. She watches her tone when she speaks to you. She honors your time, your boundaries, and your effort. But when she doesn't respect you, she'll use you for what's convenient, while secretly seeing you as beneath her. It's subtle, and that's why it's dangerous. She might laugh at your jokes in public but talk down to you in private. She might accept your help but never thank you. She might show affection but only when it serves her needs. This kind of woman doesn't love you. She doesn't even like you that much. She just uses you because she knows you haven't figured her out yet. And the worst part, she knows you'll stay because you're focused on the access, not the respect. Men, let this sink in. If a woman gives you access but no respect, you're not her priority. You're her placeholder. She doesn't see you as a man she looks up to. She sees you as someone she can manage, control, or keep around until someone better comes along. You're the emotional seat warmer, the guy she calls when she's bored, lonely, or needs validation, but not the man she actually values. And if you don't correct this dynamic early, it only gets worse. You'll start doing more, trying harder, hoping that your effort will change her mind. But it won't. Because once a woman stops respecting you, everything else she gives you is just a distraction from the truth. She doesn't see you as someone worth honoring. So ask yourself, does she treat you like a man she respects, or just a man she tolerates? Because if it's the second one, it's time to walk away. Number 2. She keeps you around but out of reach. There's a kind of woman who never really pushes you away, but never fully brings you in either. She keeps you in a strange emotional middle ground, just close enough to feel hopeful but far enough that you're never secure. This isn't by accident, it's intentional. She knows you're emotionally invested, and she uses that to keep you orbiting around her. You're not her boyfriend, you're not her man, but somehow you feel responsible for her. You care about her moods, you respond to her texts, you show up when she needs you. And every time you think things might move forward, she pulls back just enough to remind you that you're still not that guy in her life. What makes this so dangerous is how subtle it is. She doesn't reject you outright, so there's no clean break. There's no closure. Instead, she gives you small doses of attention, enough to keep you hopeful, but never enough to feel respected or prioritized. She knows how to keep your emotional hunger on a leash, always feeding you crumbs without ever giving you the full meal. The longer you stay in this dynamic, the more your confidence erodes. You start questioning yourself, wondering what more you can do to finally be seen as enough. You get stuck in a cycle of trying harder, showing more loyalty, being more available, all for a woman who has no real intention of giving you anything back. Deep down you know this isn't how a man should be treated. You feel it every time you're left on red, every time your time is wasted, every time your presence is taken for granted. But because you've emotionally invested, you hold on. You tell yourself she's just confused. You tell yourself you're close. You ignore what your gut is screaming at you. She doesn't see you the way you see her. And that's the truth that hurts the most. She's not unsure. She's decided. She's just keeping you close because your energy benefits her. You make her feel wanted, and she's not ready to give that up. But that doesn't mean she values you. It means she values what you give her. Attention, comfort, validation, without having to give anything meaningful in return. If you stay in this space thinking she'll eventually come around, you'll lose more than just time. You'll lose self-respect. Because no man with standards allows himself to be emotionally sidelined while acting like he's in the game. If she keeps you around but refuses to bring you closer, she's not confused. She's comfortable, and it's your job to disrupt that comfort by walking away. Number 3, she tests your limits just to watch you break. Now this one is where most guys lose the game without even knowing it. Because when a woman no longer values you, when she no longer respects the man you are, she starts testing your limits, not to build connection, not to strengthen the bond, but just to see if you'll break. It's a power move. And if you fall for it, if you crumble, explain yourself, beg, try to fix it, you lose even more ground. So let's talk about exactly how this works. Because once you see this dynamic, you'll never unsee it again. When she no longer values you, she starts poking at your boundaries. She'll cancel plans last minute just to see how you react. She'll ignore your messages, not because she's busy, but because she wants to see how fast you chase. She'll bring up other guys in conversation. Watch how you handle it. She'll tease, disrespect, even mock you in subtle ways, all to test your composure. And here's the part that stings: she's not doing this to draw you closer. She's doing it to prove a point to herself, to confirm, I'm in control here. You'll fold for me. It's about power. And when you bite, when you chase after that disrespect, when you argue, when you explain, when you beg, you reinforce that dynamic. You tell her without words, you're right, you have control over me. And that only deepens her lack of respect. Now let's be clear, not every woman does this consciously. Sometimes it's subconscious. A natural reaction to feeling the balance shift. But the result is the same. She starts testing and watching to see if you'll break. And here's why so many men fail these tests. Because they're too emotionally invested, too focused on keeping her happy rather than protecting their own frame. They think, if I just explain myself, if I just show her how much I care, if I just prove that I'm a good guy. But that's not what works here. Because when a woman is in this energy, explanations don't move her. Strength does. Self-respect does. Your ability to stay calm under pressure does. When she pushes and you don't flinch, that's power. That's what can actually reset the dynamic, or at the very least, preserve your dignity. So how do you handle this when it shows up? Simple. Recognize the test. Stay calm. Don't over-explain. Don't chase. Don't argue. If she disrespects you, call it out once clearly, then detach. If she cancels or plays games, let her feel the silence. Don't run after her trying to make it right, because the moment you show you can't be easily rattled, you shift the frame back. You remind her, I'm not here to perform for you. I'm not here to dance for scraps of attention. I know my value with or without you, and that is magnetic. Because here's the truth. Deep down, even women who are testing you don't respect a man who breaks easily. They respect strength. They respect calm. They respect boundaries. And if you can embody that, not as a game, but as who you really are, everything changes. Now, if you've ever been in this spot, if you've had a woman start testing you just to see how you'd react, drop a quick comment, I've seen this. And stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you exactly how to keep your frame when these tests keep coming. Number 4. She listens to you like your background noise. Here's one of the clearest but most overlooked signs that a woman doesn't value you anymore. She listens to you, but you can tell you're just background noise. You're talking, she's there. But is she really hearing you? Not even close. You can feel it in her body language. She's scrolling her phone. Her eyes wander. Her replies are short, automatic, surface level. And here's the part that hurts. You could be telling her something important, something that actually matters to you, and it's like you're not even in the room. Because in her mind, you've slipped out of the category of man I respect and into the category of man who's there but no longer matters. And if you don't catch this early, you'll keep investing in a situation that's draining you. So let's break this down. When a woman values you when she's invested, she listens differently. She leans in. She's engaged. She responds thoughtfully. Even in casual moments, you can feel that what you say carries weight. But when she starts treating you like background noise, the dynamic shifts. Now you're the guy she barely pays attention to while texting other people. You're the guy she half listens to while checking her Instagram feed. You're the guy whose words float past her ears, but never land. And this is deeper than just being distracted. It's about where you now sit in her priority list. Because here's the truth. When a woman wants to listen, when she respects you, when she values what you bring to the table, her attention is there. Even if she's busy, even if life is hectic, she makes space for you. But when she no longer values you, she can be in the same room, and it's like you don't even exist. Now, how do most men respond when this starts happening? They try harder, they talk more, they raise their energy thinking, if I just explain this better, if I just tell her something more interesting, if I just get her to see me again. But here's the painful truth. If she's already treating you like background noise, more words won't change that. Respect isn't earned by forcing your way into her attention. It's earned or re-earned by stepping out of that dynamic completely. Because when a woman has checked out, when she's stopped listening, chasing her attention only lowers your value further. So what should you do? First, notice it. If you find yourself constantly talking, trying to win her back with conversation, while she barely engages, pause. Don't keep pouring energy into a one-sided dynamic. Second, pull back. Not with resentment, not with a game, but with clarity. Step away from being her background noise. Because here's the paradox, the less available you become, the more likely she is to notice the absence. And if there's still any respect left, that absence will create curiosity. But if you keep filling the space with words she doesn't value, all you're doing is confirming that you no longer command her attention. And a man who doesn't command attention loses attraction. So, if you're seeing this right now, if you feel like you're just background noise in her life, recognize what that really means. It's not about you, it's about the dynamic. And the only way to shift that dynamic is to stop feeding it. Now, if you've been in this spot before, if you've felt what it's like to be half listened to, drop a quick comment. I've seen this. And stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you exactly how to break free from this low-value space and move from background noise to a man she can't ignore. Number 5. She wants boyfriend benefits without being yours. Now this one traps more good men than almost anything else because it feels good at first. She's calling you, messaging you, venting to you, asking for help, leaning on you when she's stressed. But here's the truth, she doesn't want to be with you. She just wants the benefits. She wants the emotional support, the late-night talks, the attention, the comfort of knowing there's a man who'll show up when she calls. But does she actually commit? Does she treat you like her man in public? Does she bring you into her world number? She keeps the label off. She keeps things casual, undefined. And here's the trap, because as a man you're thinking, she must still care. Maybe we're working our way back. If I just keep being there for her, maybe this turns into something more. But the longer you stay in this space, the worse it gets. Because every time you show up without any real commitment from her, you train her to see you as the emotional boyfriend without any of the responsibility on her side. And the longer you allow that, the more your value drops. Not because you're not a good man, but because you're sending the message, I'm willing to give you everything, even when you give me nothing. And the hard truth is, women don't respect that dynamic. It feels safe to them, comfortable, but not attractive. Because deep down they know a man who knows his worth, doesn't live in limbo. He doesn't keep giving boyfriend energy to a woman who won't claim him. So how do you spot this? Pay attention to the balance. Are you giving her consistent emotional energy, attention, validation, support? But she's not introducing you to her world, not making plans, not committing to anything real. Does she come to you when she's sad or lonely, but disappear when she's out having fun? These are clear signs. She's keeping you as the safe guy, the fallback option. And here's why this happens. It's easy for her. You give her what she needs, emotional connection, without requiring her to face the discomfort of a real relationship. You're there on her terms. And as long as you accept that, nothing will change. So what do you do? First, recognize the game. If you feel like you're the almost boyfriend, the guy she turns to for comfort, but never claims, stop pouring energy in. Because the more you give in that space, the more stuck you get. Second, set a boundary. Not an ultimatum, not anger, but clarity. You can say, I'm not here to be your emotional support while you keep me in the background, and then step back. Because a man who values himself doesn't live in the friend zone with benefits. He either moves forward in a real way, or he moves on. And the beauty of this, when you do step back, when you stop giving away boyfriend benefits, you force her to face the reality, either value me or lose me. And sometimes that's exactly what wakes her up. Now, if you've been in this place before, if you've found yourself giving more than you got, hoping it would turn into something more, drop a quick comment, I've seen this, and stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you exactly how to reclaim your power when you've been stuck in this dynamic for too long. Number 6. She publicly praises others but never you. Now this one stings more than most guys are willing to admit, because you want to believe that the connection is still there. You want to believe that deep down she still respects you. But then, you start seeing the signs. You notice how easily she compliments other men, her co-workers, her friends, even random guys online. She's quick with the, "Wow, you've done so well. You're such a strong man." Or the little praise-filled comments on another guy's post. "You've always inspired me. I admire how focused you are." But for you, crickets, she's silent. No compliments, no public recognition, no sign that she sees you the same way anymore. And here's the key: this isn't an accident. It's not that she forgot. It's a subtle but intentional shift in how she positions you. Because when a woman values a man, when she respects him, she wants the world to see that. She wants to reflect admiration back toward him, not because she has to, but because it naturally comes out. She's proud of him. But when she no longer values you, when the respect is gone, the dynamic flips. Now she holds that admiration back from you, while freely giving it to others. And why does she do this? Because in her mind you're no longer the man who inspires that energy. You're the man she now sees as safe, or even beneath her emotionally. And giving you praise, that would only reinforce a dynamic she's trying to avoid. Instead, she redirects that energy elsewhere toward the men she does admire, or even toward men she hopes you will notice she's admiring. It's subtle, but it's powerful. And here's where most guys mess this up. They start trying to earn her admiration again. They work harder. They show off more. They try to impress, hoping that if they just do enough, she'll go back to seeing them as worthy of praise. But that's not how this works. Because in this state, the more you chase validation, the lower your value drops. She sees it, she feels it, and the dynamic spirals downward. So what do you do when you notice this shift? First, accept it for what it is. If she's openly praising other men while ignoring you, it's a sign that her respect has eroded. And no amount of proving yourself will flip that switch. Second, pull your energy back. Stop giving her boyfriend-level attention. Stop seeking her validation, because the man who stands firm, who knows his worth even when a woman tries to devalue him, that's the man who earns respect over time. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to win her admiration, when you move forward with your own life on your own terms, that's when she starts to feel the shift. That's when she realizes you're not waiting for her praise. And that's powerful, because women sense when a man no longer needs their approval. And that energy, it commands attention in a way that chasing never can. So if you've ever been here, if you've noticed her lifting up others publicly while leaving you in the background, drop a quick comment, "I've seen this." And stick with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you how to protect your energy and keep your frame strong when these subtle shifts happen. Number 7. She expects the world and offers you nothing. Let's be honest, this one is the biggest red flag of all. And too many good men fall for it. Because when you really care about a woman, you want to give, you want to show up, you want to provide. And in a healthy dynamic, that energy is matched. You give, she gives. You invest, she invests. But when a woman no longer values you, that balance disappears. Suddenly, she expects everything from you. Your time, your attention, your emotional support, your resources. But what does she offer back? Nothing. Or worse, she acts like you owe her those things just for being there. And this is where so many men get stuck, because they think, well, relationships take work. I need to be patient. She's just going through a phase. But if you look closely, it's not about patience. It's about an unbalanced dynamic. One where you're expected to give everything, while she contributes nothing of real value back to you. And here's why this is so dangerous. The longer you stay in this space, the more you train her to see you as a provider, not as a man she respects. And when respect is gone, attraction dies with it. Now, what does this actually look like? You're always the one making plans. You're always the one reaching out. You're always the one fixing problems. She's quick to accept gifts, favors time, but slow to offer gratitude, effort, or real connection. She holds the title of girlfriend, or maybe not even that, but expects you to act like a full-time boyfriend without giving anything back. And when you pull back or question the dynamic, she plays the victim. You've changed. You're being distant. Why are you making things difficult? It's all designed to guilt you into giving more, while she continues giving nothing. And here's the harsh truth: the more you give under these conditions, the lower your value sinks. Because women don't respect men who overgive in the face of disrespect. They respect men who know their worth, and who won't play the game when the energy is one-sided. So what should you do if you find yourself here? First, recognize the pattern. If you're constantly giving while she's offering nothing back, stop. Stop chasing. Stop explaining. Stop pouring energy into a dry well. Second, recenter yourself. Ask, is this dynamic really serving me? Is this woman showing up for me in any meaningful way? And if the answer is no, you already know what comes next. You step back, not to punish, not to manipulate, but to protect your energy and your value as a man. Because here's what happens when you do that. If she respects you deep down, she'll feel the loss. She'll realize you're no longer playing the game. And if not, she'll drift away, which is exactly what needs to happen. Because a man who values himself will never stay in a dynamic where he's expected to give the world and receive nothing. So, if you've ever seen this, if you've been stuck giving everything while getting nothing back, drop a quick comment. I've seen this. And stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will help you protect your energy and make sure you never fall into this trap again. Number 8. She flirts, but sets no real intimacy. Here's one of the most confusing behaviors you'll ever face as a man. She flirts, but there's no real intimacy. On the surface, she gives you signals, a look, a touch, playful words. She teases you just enough to keep you wondering, just enough to keep you hoping. But when you move forward, when you try to deepen the connection emotionally or physically, she puts up the wall. The mood changes. She pulls back. Suddenly she's not ready, not sure, just wants to keep things light. And here's the key: this isn't about her being confused. It's a pattern. Because deep down, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's using flirtation as a tool not to build connection, but to hold your attention, to keep you orbiting, to keep you emotionally invested without giving anything real back. And here's why this works so well. As men, we're wired to respond to signals of interest. When a woman flirts, our natural instinct is to move closer, to invest more, to pursue. But when there's no real intimacy behind it, when there's no true openness, that investment becomes one-sided. And this is where many men get trapped. Because the flirtation feels good. It sparks hope. And hope can be addictive. You start thinking, maybe she just needs time. Maybe if I'm patient, maybe this could turn into something real. But meanwhile, she keeps you at arm's length, close enough to feed your interest, but far enough to avoid true intimacy. And the longer you stay in this space, the more your value drops. Because in her eyes, a man who sticks around for crumbs of attention isn't a man she deeply respects. He's a man she can toy with, a man she can lean on for ego boosts, but not a man she truly sees as a partner. So how do you spot this dynamic? It shows up in patterns. She's warm one moment, cold the next. She flirts heavily when it suits her, But when you express real interest, she retreats. She talks about needing space, not wanting to rush, but keeps reeling you back in when your attention starts to fade. And here's the hardest part. Sometimes the flirtation gets even stronger right when you pull back. Why? Because it's not about connection. It's about control. It's about keeping you engaged so she feels wanted, without ever having to give anything of real value. Now, what should you do when you see this? First, recognize it for what it is. Flirtation with no real intimacy behind it is not connection, it's manipulation. Second, guard your energy. Don't fall into the trap of trying harder to win her over, because the more you chase, the more you reinforce the dynamic. Instead, step back. If her interest is real, if there's potential for genuine intimacy, you'll see it. She'll meet you halfway. She'll show consistency. She'll move toward you. But if it's all just flirtation without depth, the best thing you can do is walk away with your self-respect intact. Because here's the truth. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase empty signals. He invests where he's valued, where connection is real, where intimacy is mutual. And when you live from that place, you attract the women who respect you, not the ones who toy with you. Now, if you've ever been stuck in this spot, if you've chased flirtation that led nowhere, drop a quick comment. I've seen this. And stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you exactly how to break this pattern and move toward connections that actually serve you. Number 9. She uses you to fill her boredom. Now this one flies under the radar for so many men, and by the time they realize what's happening, they've already wasted weeks, months, sometimes even years in the wrong dynamic. She uses you to fill her boredom. And here's why it's so tricky, because when it's happening, it feels like connection. She reaches out, she calls, she texts late at night, she sends random memes or songs. She flirts just enough to spark your interest. And naturally, as a man, you think, she must be interested. Maybe this is going somewhere. But if you step back and look at the pattern, you'll see the truth. She's not investing because she values you. She's investing because she's bored, lonely, needing a hit of attention, and you are her supply. Now, how do you know when this is happening? The first sign is inconsistency. She reaches out, but only when she wants to, when her life is busy, when she's with friends, when she's seeing other guys. You don't hear from her. But the moment her social calendar empties, suddenly she's texting again. Suddenly, you're her favorite person, not because she values the connection, but because you're convenient. Second sign, surface-level conversation. When you try to deepen things, ask real questions, show genuine interest, she dodges. She keeps it light, funny, but shallow. Because going deeper would mean treating you like a man of real value, and that's not what's happening here. Third sign, she's flaky. You try to make plans. She's hot and cold, always busy, not sure, let's play it by ear. But when she is free and she wants to kill time, she hits you up. That's not respect, that's convenience. She's using you to escape boredom, not because she genuinely wants you. And here's the harsh truth. The longer you play along with this, the more you reinforce the dynamic. You teach her, I'm here, I'm available. Use me as you like. And guess what? She will, not maliciously, not out of cruelty, but because human nature always takes the path of least resistance. If you offer energy freely without standards, people will take it. So how do you break this cycle? Simple awareness plus boundaries. First, step back and ask, am I the man she reaches out to because she values me or because she's bored? And if it's boredom, stop rewarding it. When the boredom text comes in, don't jump. Don't immediately reply. Don't drop everything to entertain her, because the more you respect your time, the more you show her that your energy isn't available on demand, and that shifts the dynamic. If she values you, she'll step up. If she doesn't, she'll fade away. And either outcome is a win. Because here's what you need to remember. A man of value doesn't exist to fill someone else's boredom. He builds a life that excites him. He invests in connections that are real. And when you live that way, you naturally filter out the women who aren't serious. Now, if you've ever been caught in this trap, if you've realized a woman was using you to pass the time, drop a quick comment. I've seen this. And stay with me, because what we're about to cover next will show you how to reclaim your time, your energy, and your worth as a man. Number 10. She keeps you guessing on purpose. Now let's talk about one of the most frustrating and most powerful ways a woman will show you she doesn't value you. She keeps you guessing. And trust me, she knows exactly what she's doing. See, when a woman is genuinely interested in you, she doesn't need to play games. She's consistent, she's clear, she moves toward you with openness. But when the respect is gone, when she sees you as an option or as an emotional toy, that's when she shifts gears. Now it's about keeping you guessing, keeping you off balance, keeping you thinking, what does she really want? Is she interested or just playing? Should I move forward or back away? And that uncertainty, that's the game. Because the longer you stay in that uncertain state, the more control she has over you. It becomes an addiction. You're constantly trying to figure her out. One day she's warm texting first, sending flirty messages. The next day radio silence, or cold responses, or sudden distance with no explanation. Then just when you start to pull back, here she comes again. A sweet message, a compliment, a memory from the past, and the cycle repeats. Now, why does this happen? Simple. When a woman doesn't value you, but still enjoys the attention, she'll use uncertainty to keep you engaged. It's her way of controlling the dynamic without giving anything real. Because here's what you have to understand. When you're in this guessing game, you're no longer thinking like a man of value. You're reacting. You're waiting for her next move. You're wondering what you did wrong, what you need to fix, how you can get her back on your side. And every ounce of that mental energy you're spending, it's going straight to her ego. She feels it. She knows she's in your head. And as long as she knows that she has the power. Now, a lot of men fall into this trap because they think she's just confused. She's been hurt before. She needs time to figure out how she feels. But the reality is, a woman who respects you, who values you, won't need to confuse you. She won't need to keep you guessing. She'll show it. She'll communicate clearly. She'll create consistency, because that's what builds trust and connection. So when you're in a dynamic where you're constantly guessing, that's your signal, not to chase harder, not to prove yourself, but to step back, to see the game for what it is. Because here's the truth. No man of value plays guessing games. He doesn't sit there wondering if he's good enough, if today is the day she'll finally come around. He moves forward in strength. He invests in women who show up for him fully and clearly, not in women who breadcrumb him with mixed signals. Now, how do you break this pattern? It starts with awareness. When you catch yourself thinking, what is she thinking? Why is she acting this way? Maybe if I just do this, she'll be more consistent. That's your red flag. You're in the guessing loop. And the only way out is to stop playing. You step off the roller coaster. You stop responding to the warm-cold dynamic. You let her feel the absence of your attention, not as a punishment, but as a reflection of your self-worth. Because here's what happens when you do that. If she respects you at all, she'll notice. She'll either step up with more clarity, or fade away entirely. And either outcome is good for you, because the last thing you want as a man on this journey is to waste time and energy in an emotional guessing game with a woman who doesn't value you. Your time, your focus, your presence, these things are valuable. They should be reserved for women who appreciate them, who meet you with openness and respect, not for women who dangle the possibility of connection just to keep you hooked. So if you've ever been caught in this loop, if you've spent days, weeks, even months trying to figure out a woman's mixed signals, drop a quick comment. I've seen this. And that's it for today, my friend. If you're serious about building a stronger, more grounded mindset as a man, and if you want more clarity in how you handle these kinds of dynamics, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. And if you're ready to take things even further, if you want deeper insights, real tools, and a private community of men walking this same path, check out the Stoic Members Group. You'll find everything you need to level up and never fall into these traps again. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay focused, and I'll see you right here tomorrow.